Thank you, Ross. Stabbings, fires, and riots, things most Kansans don't want to see happening in our prisons. But how do we know if they are? And how do we know we would be told about them? Factfinder 12 investigator Devon found after several recent events at Kansas prisons, you haven't heard the whole story.
A prison disturbance. It's a phrase that can mean many things. But what's true?
I think characterizing that as, a small disturbance is absolutely just a lie. It was actually a riot.
A riot. That's a phrase the Kansas Department of Corrections hasn't ever used, but its officers have.
The two riots that happened out there shouldn't have even happened at all.
Disturbance, riot, incident, the word wouldn't matter if we were getting the full truth. But the State Employees Union executive director says we're not.
Media reports came out saying that the Department of Corrections saying that there was minimal damage or there was no inmate injuries, no staffing injuries whatsoever. I had more union stewards reach out to me and other state employees, corrections employees, saying this is not true.
Some of those employees talked to us anonymously, concerned they'd be fired for speaking up.
Whole parts of the building were set on fire. They had access to tools. They had access to the on-site vehicles. They had really taken over a significant part of that facility.
They tore two couple offices apart, broke the computers, broke all of the electronics in there. But yet Topeka says there's no damage, there's no injuries, everything is under control. And it wasn't.
So what really happened during those two events? Let's start with El Dorado. The KDOC told me there was no violence and no weapons, but the logbook I got shows there were fights and damage, and there was an inmate with a weapon. As for Norton, KDOC said two people had minor injuries and neither needed medical treatment. It also said the prison never needed the Norton Fire Department and that there was only one fire. The logs say one employee needed medical attention and another employee tells me he was seriously injured. Logs show Norton Fire did respond and it needed armed guards. And finally, I found reports of 8 fires.
I think they lied about the entire thing. I think that they only told what they had to.
Who is to blame?
It's the leadership. It's always the leader.
Officers say this isn't about 2 incidents. It's about a continuing problem.
Were things good at one point?
I think this has been a problem that's been around for years. It's just now reached the boiling point where we're at the point of no return and things are getting worse.
They say you need to know what's going on because you're paying for it with tax dollars and they're paying for it with their safety.
My biggest problem or my biggest thing that pushed me away was I did not feel safe at all daily there.
I don't know what else to do. This is where the media comes in.
All right, Devon, you tried talking with the Department of Corrections. How did that go for you?
Well, I've been talking with them for probably about a month. I've told them about this story. They still don't want to say anything about it. One thing I did was requested some documents. Months ago, I was refused. I said it would take a while to get those documents. 2 days after we started promoting this story, I did get some of those documents.
All right, thank you so much, Devon. And you can find those documents on our website. That's kwch.com. Well, this Sunday, we turn back